Hi there, I'm Zara Premji from My Pretty Inkspirations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. Today I will be showing you how I created this gorgeous card here featuring the Merriest Moments Bundle in our holiday mini catalog. This card was inspired by another demonstrator named Nikki Spencer, and I love what she created. I made a couple of small adjustments, but it is very much inspired by her card, so thank you, Nikki, for the inspiration. The Merriest Moments Bundle can be found on page 43 of our July to December mini catalog, also known as our holiday catalog. And it is a hybrid bundle in the sense that it has not only a stamp set and a coordinating set of dies, but it also has an embossing folder that works with the dies or on its own. So I will be showing you later in the video another card that I had created where I used the embossing folder and the die cut together. But for the purposes of this video, you will just be seeing a panel of cardstock embossed. So let's get started and I will show you how to create this card. So you will start with a standard card base. I've used thick basic white and my card base measures 5.5 by 8.5 inches and it's scored at 4 1/4. So I'll just start by burnishing that piece here. You will then need a panel of basic white cardstock that is the same measurement as the folded card base. So this piece measures 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to use the Merriest Frames embossing folder to emboss this piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to take that and put that in my embossing folder. I want to make sure that the card base, the card layer is covering most of the sprigs that are shown on that embossing folder. So you can just flip it over and look at the other side to make sure that it is well covered. Then you'll take your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and you will need your specialty plate for this. So you're just going to set that down, cover it with your specialty plate, which is included with your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you're just going to run that through to emboss that cardstock layer. So here you see how beautifully embossed that piece of cardstock is, and that's going to be the backdrop for the rest of our card. So before we start assembling, let's work on our stamping and die cutting. So I've taken another panel of white cardstock and I'm just going to do some stamping. I'm going to stamp all my images on this one piece and cut them out all together. So I'll start first with my poinsettia, and I'm using Blushing Bride ink. And I'm just going to ink that up, and I'm actually going to stamp it off once onto my grid paper to remove some of the ink. And then I'll stamp that down onto my cardstock. So that's called stamping off, and it just lightens up the intensity of the stamped image. So I didn't want it too intense. I wanted it to be a little bit more faint. So I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller poinsettia here. So we've got those two. And then we'll go in with our holly leaves, and I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow ink. And I'm going to do these full strength. So I'll do the smaller one. Whoops, I don't love the way that turned out. Let me try that again. There we go, that's better. Then we'll go in with the larger. And I'm going to just stamp this pine sprig here. I'm then going to take my soft succulent ink and I'm going to stamp this sprig right here. So next I'm going to die cut these using my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'll bring that back and I'm going to lay all of my dies together at the same time so that I can run this through with just one pass. So there you have all of your pieces cut and stamped using one pass of the cut and emboss machine. I've also gone ahead and die cut these two small poinsettias using our new Bedazzling specialty paper. This is an item that you can actually get for free as part of our celebration promotion for the months of August and September of 2021. These are the two little dies that I used, and I just passed them through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to create these beautiful glitzy and shimmery poinsettias. So these will just add a little bit of sparkle to the card. So I've also die cut this stitched rectangle. This is also part of the Merriest Frames die set, and it's a really perfect size for the sentiments in this stamp set, but can also be used with other stamp sets as well. So I'm just going to stamp this in my Evening Evergreen ink. You can use any color. I would say a dark neutral would be good. So I'm using a dark green, but you can use black or navy, whatever you have on hand that works for you. So there we go. We've got our sentiment all ready to go. And now we can begin assembling our card. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to put some on the back of this panel here and stick this down onto my card base. You want to be generous with the adhesive on this one because you don't want your corners sticking up or your edges sticking up off of the card base. So then line up one edge with the edge of your card base just to make sure that it's well aligned, and then you can ease that down and just use your hand to make sure that it's stuck down really nice and evenly. Then I'm going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals and I'm going to lay this sentiment down in the middle of my card, and it fits perfectly into the frame of the embossed piece. So I'm just going to pop that up and stick that down right there in the middle. And then we can begin putting our sprigs down onto our card base. So I'm going to start with this one here, and I'm just going to use a little bit of liquid glue and set that down like so. And I'll do the same thing with this one here. You don't need too much glue because it is going to get covered also by the poinsettias. Then I'll do the two holly leaves together. So I'll start by putting a little bit of glue here, and I'll add that like so. And then put a little bit behind, just a few dots here. And then just have these pointing downwards like that. I'm then going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to curve up the leaves of my poinsettia, both the large and the small, just to give it some dimension and have it pop up a little bit. And then I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there, and then I will offset these like so. Now this I want popped up on my card, so I'm going to use another dimensional, and I'm just going to lay that down onto my card, and that will help me position my poinsettia where I want it to go. So I'm going to stick that down like so, and our card is almost done. I want to add in these little sparkly poinsettias, so I'm just going to again use a little dot of glue, and I will tuck one under here. You want to make sure that it doesn't extend off the edge of the card so that it'll fit nicely into your envelope, and I'll put another one right. Just tuck that underneath like so. So that is the the main card, I'm just going to add some champagne rhinestones to add a little bit more sparkle. And I will use my take your pick tool for that. So I'm going to put 3 in the center of the poinsettia. And then I'm going to add a couple more onto the card here. You can never have too much sparkle. I love the bling on that card. So there you have it. That is the card. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you've liked what you've seen, please do go ahead and like and subscribe, and so that you can get updated whenever I post new videos. And I promised you I would show you another card that I'd created using the frame. So this is one that I had done in a recent Facebook Live, and I will link that video down below. But you can see that I've used the embossing folder together with the die to create this beautiful embossed and die cut frame. And then at the back, I've used the Bedazzling specialty paper with an outline die to, again, just create a really beautiful backdrop. So this is a gorgeous bundle. You can purchase this in my online store, or if you'd like to get it for free, our starter kit opportunity is a great deal. So you can choose $165 in product and pay only $135 Canadian. And you'll also get to choose a bundle for free during the months of August and September as part of our celebration promotion. So you could actually add this bundle for free to your starter kit, which is always nice to get stuff for free. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get updated every time I post a new video. Have a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye.